And we spoke on the phone the other day, and you said it was okay for me to come round and have a chat.
Yeah,
and mention a little bit about the calf and stuff. So I was just wondering where you were at, really, and what your kind of understanding was after we'd had our conversation.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was about Johnny, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
About what he'd been on about at school.
Yeah.
And, you know, you said when you rang me that you'd been asked to come and find out what was going on and if anything was the matter, because he'd gone and said I wasn't feeding him.
Right.
So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, we're here to talk about that. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mentioned on the phone something about the CAF as well, Common Assessment Framework, and that kind of, in a way, could be a bit of a structure for us to work on, but we don't have to follow the CAF form like word for word. What my hope is that we can kind of do a bit of exploring, see what comes up, and we can put some of that down on the form, and if there's any gaps we can unpack that again next time.
I mean, what does the form actually do? I mean, you've told me about it, but I mean, like, you know, just in a nutshell sort of thing. If we do this, what will I get?
Yeah, basically the form is, as you can see, it's a few pages long. Like I said, you've not got to worry about getting all caught up in the exact bits of what we're going to put in it.
Yeah, I'm not very good with forms, actually.
Right. Okay. Well, that's something we can work through together. You know, my expectation isn't that I give that to you and then say, right, you need to complete that and come back. It's more of a the idea of the CAF is for us to look at what needs you and Johnny may have, and what services are in place at the moment that may be able to help you, and if there is anything else maybe that can be done, or any particular ideas that you may have about what you think might be useful.
Yeah, okay, that sounds alright.
That sounds okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Right, okay then. So you've said already there was a little bit about what Johnny had said about there not being food and stuff, and that you're feeling a bit low. Do you want to say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was very upset, obviously, when, well, presumably it was head teacher who spoke to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mrs. Craddock. She spoke to me originally about it, and she's the person that recommended I give you a call. Yeah,
I felt pretty upset. I mean, it's a bit humiliating, isn't it? Your kids standing up at school saying you're not feeding them. I mean, you know, it's hardly that they fill me with joy hearing that. So I was upset, really, and I felt a bit let down by him. I mean, I must admit, I probably have let things go a little bit in a way, but all the same, you know, I can't. I mean, don't take this personally, but you know, it's just, I just find the whole thing a bit embarrassing and upsetting.
Yeah. So just actually me being here today and kind of supposed to know that Mrs. Craddock had spoken to me and stuff, just that in itself.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's something I could have done without, really. I mean, things haven't been very easy for me, you know. And, you know, I mean, okay, Johnny's entitled to say what he likes, really, and you know, perhaps he was right to say what he did. I don't know, but it did leave me feeling a bit let down. Yeah,
and I can hear that from what you're saying. This, you know, that it perhaps does feel a little bit uncomfortable, and I recognise that. You know, that might be how you're feeling. Yeah. And you said things haven't been that easy for you at the moment.
No, they haven't really. Yeah. Well, I think. Well, I think I probably have let things go a bit recently, because I've been. I think I've probably been rather depressed.
Really?
Yeah.
And how long has that been going on for?
Well, a few months. I mean, I did actually have a miscarriage a few months ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
Gosh.
And I don't think I'm over it, really.
No. You look quite sad now when we're talking.
Yeah, I'm really, I was shattered. You know, people say that, you know, oh, you haven't actually had the baby, how can you grieve and that? But I was just totally devastated. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Take your time.
I mean, really, I know it's silly, it happens all the time. I'm not on my own, but you know, I don't know. It just hit me really badly, and I've just felt pretty well on my own with it.
Gosh. So basically, since the miscarriage, your mood has gone right down, and you felt really low and really alone and kind of struggling in some ways. You've described it as it's been quite hard for you.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt such a failure, really.
Gosh, so on top of all this, you're telling yourself that you're a failure.
Well, I mean, some people say, oh, it's nature's way of, it's nature's way of sorting out something that might not have been right, but, I just feel as if I let the baby down, really.
Really?
And, I really, really wanted another child.
Mm.
I'm not getting any younger.
Gosh.
And, I don't know, I'm not in a relationship. I mean, that wasn't exactly planned, and there isn't like a dad on the scene particularly, but
Okay.
I just set my heart on, having the baby, really.
Yeah.
It was a big decision, to go ahead with the pregnancy. I had to sort of think about that one first.
Right.
It was a big decision for me.
Yeah.
And then I was just very, very, very happy about it.
Mm.
So, and I don't know, I just feel on my own with a lot of this, really. And, alright, Johnny's Johnny, but, I don't know. I don't think he realises what the effect is of dropping me in it, which is as I see it with this. I mean, perhaps I just don't really know what's going on for him at the moment, because I think I've been in the world of my own, quite honestly.
Right. So it sounds like you've been through all sorts of kind of emotional shifts of late, from kind of the finding out that you were pregnant and this wasn't planned, to then feeling really pleased about it, and then kind of moving on to this excited, expecting to be having a baby and preparing yourself, and then sadly that then you had a miscarriage, and so it's kind of left you with these feelings of being quite out of it, and kind of how much you've been there for Johnny in some ways.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, the baby would have been due quite soon if it had gone ahead.
Right. Sounds like it's a really hard time.
It is. It's really hard. It's just hard. It's hard. So there you go. Yeah, anyway.
And so I suppose you're recognising, and you're very much around these feelings of how difficult it is at the moment, and then this phone call's come through